Welcome to Bleacher Speakers. I'm your host, June, and I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Make sure you are following us on all the podcast aggregators and hit that notification bell so when we drop content like this, you'll get an alert. Once again, subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to go over these featured player of the week, old school style. And if you're watching, if you're looking at it, you see that man. If you're an old school guy like myself, you know who that is. If you're listening, I have a picture of probably one of the last breed of the old school linebackers. We today we have the linebackers that are super athletic. They they can run, they cover. But back in the day, you had those linebackers that could just had a nose for the football. They were ultimate football players. They didn't run fast, they didn't jump high, but they seemed to know how to stop the run and make plays, cause fumbles, pick up fumbles. This guy is none other than Chris Spielman. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this guy here. And currently, he's in the front office. So definitely got to give him a super shout out, even though he left as a free agent to play with the Bills. We're not going to talk about his Bills accomplishments. But this was a guy. This was a guy, and he was the ultimate middle linebacker for the Lions. And like I said, he didn't run the fastest 40. He didn't jump the highest, but he had a nose for the football. He was an all pro. And we'll talk about his accolades in a minute. But first, even though I do not like to talk about that school down south, but he is from the University of Ohio State. And this guy was just, he was amazing in college. Um, he had total tackles at Ohio State 546. He ranks among the all time leaders to this day in tackles, 283 solo tackles, 11 interceptions, 7 sacks. And that was over a span of 3 years. Uh, in 1987, he won the Lombardi award winner for the nation's top linebacker. He was a two-time All-American in 1986 and 87, and he was the three times All Big Ten selection in 1985, 86, and 87. He was the defensive MVP of the 1987 Cotton Bowl game, where he recorded 29 tackles versus Texas A&M, and he was a team captain for the Ohio State Buckeyes in 1987. Uh, Basically, he was drafted by the Lions, and his numbers. He played a span of 7 years from 1988 to 85. Uh, he had 1,138 tackles, 10 sacks, 6 interceptions, 13 forced fumbles, 19 fumble recoveries. Uh, Drafted in the second round, 29th pick overall by the Lions. He played for the Lions from 1988 to 1995, where he went to the Bills for the 1996 and 1997 season. And I think his career was cut short by an injury, and I think it was a neck injury, if I'm not mistaken. I was kind of heartbroken when he left to go play for the Bills. I wanted him to be a line for life. Um, he was just a hard nosed player. He got to the football. He was the old school linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Didn't run sideline to sideline, but he had a nose for the football. He also registered a year with the Cleveland Browns in 1999, but he did not play due to his injury. He's a four-time Pro Bowler. He made the Pro Bowl in 1989, 1990, 1991, and 1994. At the time of his retirement, as he was the Lions' all-time leading tackler. He also helped the Lions lead the Lions to the 1991 NFC Championship game, a game they lost to the Redskins. I'm getting deja vu all over again, man. Lost to those Redskins back then. But anyway, this guy who I'm talking about here, Chris Spielman, like I said, old school linebacker, you had to love him. You had to love Chris Spielman. He did everything for you um, as far as what a middle linebacker is about. You didn't. Uh, the Lions had some, some subpar teams back then. Like I said, they made the NFC Championship in '91. They also that was a Barry Sanders era when he played with Barry, so he didn't get a lot of glory because the team was all about Barry. But when you talk defense and you talk the Detroit Lions back then, Chris Spielman was arguably the best player on the defense, and he was a great player, great linebacker. Uh, Only played 7 years, but he still made his mark. Once again, before I get out of here, I want everyone to subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on the aggregators for your audio fix. Make sure you put Bleachers to Speakers FFSN in your search and download those episodes. Make sure you got the alert button, the alarm, the notification bell on. I'm messing up my words, but have that notification bell on so when we drop content, you'll get an alert. Download those episodes.